Hi everyone, it's BDevine. Welcome to Divine Miracles. I just did this big long video recording, but it didn't work out too well. So here I am again. What I'm going to do is today is we're going to get a beautiful message from the Crystal Mandala Oracle. Okay, now this is something that I will use sometimes when I'm doing a personal reading for you as a recording, and you will, what we do it for is to see where you're at on your spiritual journey. So I thought, why not? We'll have a look at these cards together today and just get a bigger message. And I'll read to you the message because the message is so beautiful. And then we'll break it down a little bit as well. So when you have a reading with me personally, okay, so you buy something from the website or whatever, we usually do some declarations together, and then I'll go through your questions and whatever you have, and then sort of tune into everything, and then we will do maybe a channeled message or whatever happens. When you're on the phone with me, we go through all of your issues, etc., whatever you're going through, and then I work out a healing plan for you, and we go from there as well. So I wanted to be able to showcase a little bit about what I do with readings. I know some people can't afford things, and I totally get that. So I do the Devine Cafe, and I want to thank everyone for coming to the Devine Cafe, watching me on TikTok as well. I do a lot of free readings on TikTok, like for a couple of hours at a time, because really TikTok doesn't know who I am right now. And I also thought that it was a place for everybody to come and just get a free message, but again, they're not as deep as they are on Devine Cafe. And so with Devine Cafe, I tune in, there's mediumship there, crystal balls, tarot cards, you name it. Whatever's supposed to come out for you really does, but I come at it from a very healing perspective. And we do have guidelines, etc., that we put in place for these to run smoothly. So if you're going to be at the Devine Cafe, please take a moment to look at the guidelines that I usually have set up before we start, so that everyone's on the same page. All right, because I wouldn't want to have to stop doing them because of time constraints, or maybe a person takes like 20 minutes to get back to me with hey, I'm here kind of thing, because they were lagged behind. That sort of stuff happens, right? And gosh, when my internet used to be really, really bad, I was right there with all that sort of stuff too. I was always late with things, etc. Things was always breaking down. So I totally get it. So we do the Devine Cafe once or twice a week here on YouTube, and I've tried to do them on Facebook, and right now Facebook doesn't work. You get so many trolls that just come on in. So I'm trying to figure all of that out to be more private for us as well. And so this is a way in which you can get a healing, reading, right? I do all kinds of things, and I'm also teaching all of these things to you guys. So we are going through, sorry, I'm shuffling cards while I'm doing this, but we are going through massive light codes right now. You may have been feeling this energy today. For me, when there's light codes energy, it's like across my eyes feel like I'm exhausted, or like a dull kind of like a headache or whatever, and my ears go all sensitive, or my sinuses or whatever, right? So there's just like, it feels like you've got an allergy coming in, and sometimes it's not an allergy. So one of the things that we learn on our healing journey is how to speak to ourselves so that we're not bringing into our energetic being the very problem that we don't want. So I always say, if I'm feeling something like a headache, or what I was just explaining to you, oh, okay, I am having some kind of upgrades. Oh, okay, I'm rewiring. Oh, okay, I need to ground myself or something, right? I'm floating off into the wherever's, okay? And changing it, instead of saying, oh God, I've got a headache. I mean, why have I got a headache? Why's my, I think I need to go lie down, or I think I'm coming down with something. That's what I used to say to myself. And a lot of people say, oh, I've got this problem. Oh gosh, I'm aching, dragging themselves around. It's like, if you change the language about it, your body will respond differently to the problem. Okay, so right now we are going through these different upgrades these different things that are happening. They are happening to us at lightning speed. Cells are getting refreshed. We're shifting into this energy of ascension more and more and more, especially when you're really, really following through with things. Okay, setting boundaries. This is one of the things that people who are empathic or healers don't like to do, because we all want to help everybody. Okay, I'm the biggest. I want to help everybody that I know, right? But there has to be boundaries. And if there aren't boundaries or guidelines, okay, and people cross those guidelines, maybe one time they can cross them and, okay, they didn't understand. But if it happens again and again and again, people are gone. It has to go. They have to go, right? That's just the way that it is. And this is what is very, very hard, even for myself as a light worker, well, light leader, whatever you want to call it. We're all light leaders, right? We're sick of the light worker thing. We need to be leaders now. But it's like, my mission is to help you, help yourself, but not to be dragged under the mud, to the tides and, rolling through the surf with you, in every time that a person needs something. Every time the person has a problem, every time a person has an issue and I'm getting the email about it or the message or whatever. That can't happen, So when you're setting up yourself to move forward here, you're going to find that there are people that pull at your energy still, and it will be up to you to snip those cords, to make yourself known, to be firm. And if people still don't respect you when you've made clear guidelines, then they're not the right energy for you. It's not meant to be around you, because it will continue to drain you. Okay. Now, I've been doing this for 30 years, long time. And when I was 15 is very different to when I was like 35, right? So there's a lot of different energy going on, from when you're younger and you're first starting and you're wanting to do and you don't want to get anything wrong and whatever. But what we're focusing on now as we move forward, we've got all this energy, we've got all these planets doing different things. We've got all this influx of people's paranoia. We've got an influx of people who are depressed or anxious. We've got an influx of people who are separated from those that they love, family. Mine are halfway around the world, Don't know whether I'm going to go back there until all this nonsense is over, right? I can't do that. So, there's separation. And at the same time, through that, there's brainwashing going on with certain people, and they start creating more of a division with others. Now here, it's not about dividing those who don't believe or whatever. It's more that you have to focus on where you're going. And if there are people leading you astray or constantly pushing the boundary with you, or constantly needy, or constantly, drama or whatever, it's you deciding that that's not the energy that you want. And there's no judgment on the person. They can do whatever they like. They can live however they like. But it's that you're deciding that you matter. And that is extremely important with healing. There's 7 stages of healing usually, and acceptance of the self. Going into alignment brings you into success. If you don't accept yourself on all levels and know what boundaries that you have and know what you're going to put up with and what you won't. If you don't know yourself, people will steamroll you your whole life, and then you're going to feel, why me? Why is this happening to me? It must be something I'm doing. In a way, it's like, you're letting people walk all over you when you know intuitively you shouldn't do that. And then you get annoyed when it happens. Right? That's a big wake-up call to a lot of us as we go through this 2021 thing, moving into 2022 now. We're tired of some of the things that we've been seeing. We're trying to upgrade. We're trying to lift our abilities up. We're trying to focus. We're trying to figure out what our soul plan is. We're trying to eliminate people from our life. We're trying not to take things personally. We're trying our best. in so many areas that in itself can lead to anxiety if you're overthinking your journey as well. So hopefully, as you're going through, as we're going through, you're going to understand your journey a little more and go easier on yourself as you navigate through it. This is the Devine tribe. Everyone that's listening is part of the Devine tribe. Everyone wants to help you. Everyone wants to support. Very loving and supporting as well. And I personally am grateful for each and every one of you that are here. And I thank you for the help that you give new people. And then new people start to feel very comfortable as well. And, you know, hopefully eventually it will get to be a point where, you know, everyone sees what they need to do and is out there doing those things. You know, right now we all feel kind of squashed in a box, right? That's how we feel. Sort of, you know, trapped in a box, I guess you could say. But remember, you only need a tiny crack of light and the whole room is filled, right? One tiny crack of light in the darkness and the whole room is filled with light. So you only need to focus on one tiny aspect of who you are, your journey that you're taking and where you're going, and be honest with yourself along the way. Be honest with yourself. Where are you letting yourself down? Where do you let people steamroll all over you? Where do you get yourself caught up emotionally in something? Because those areas will show you what still needs to just be, you know, adjusted a little bit as well. And over time, we're going to go through our moon signs. We're going to go through the planets. I'm going to tell you about each planet and what it does and why when they say, oh my God, you know, Mars is coming in, why everyone goes, oh God, don't lose your temper, you know. Neptune's coming. Okay, there's going to be emotion and there's going to be leaks of information because Neptune's coming in. You know what I'm saying? Pluto, okay, Lord of the Underworld. Well, he's going to just rip everything up that's false and devour it, you know. And this is all coming. You know, this is, I work with those three particular planets. I said those three, that's because they're all, you know, either here or about to push through in a certain conjunction. But anyway, we're going to do this reading to see where we are on our spiritual path using the crystal mandala cards. Oops, that one was upside down. Never mind. And I'll explain. It'll be a beautiful message for you as well. So if you want to be a part of having a live reading with me, keep informed. Make sure you're notified. Hit the bell so that you will know when I'm going to go, because usually I will decide on the day that I'm going to go live, and depending, because sometimes things happen in my life as well, and I can't always be, even on the day that I say I'm going to be there, sometimes I can't. But yeah, if you're notified, then you're going to know when I'm going live. And be a part of the Devine Cafe if you really would like your own healing and reading, because you know, I can only do about 10 people on that night, but it's worth it. Some people come in just to listen to the messages, which is awesome. Yeah, okay, so let's have a look what message we have from the crystal mandala. And this is going to be for everybody, and this is interesting. The message is, hopefully you're going to be able, oops, I don't want it to go back too far. There we go. The untamed. Okay, this is Goddess Freya wool and the crystal amber. Okay, so I'll show you. So a little amber crystal. Okay, I might hold on to this while we're doing this. So this is called the untamed. Okay, what's this message for us? I'm going to have a look in the book. It's interesting because you guys all heard me shuffling and all of that sort of stuff. But just earlier on today, I actually chose this card, but I didn't read the message. I got this for myself. So let's have a look. 48. Okay, ready? The untamed. We bring you the empowerment of the untamed. To be untamed is to be true to yourself without condition. This is why this is coming up. Okay. It is a freedom, but it is not always easy. There are many belief systems, some of which are considered to be essential and beyond question to mainstream human society, which would mark an untamed spirit as a dangerous and suspicious creature, even though that untamed spirit serves unconditional love. Yet to be untamed is the only way to discover who you are and live your divine destiny. Behind the clothing, the social masks, and the stories that you tell yourself or that others tell you, there is a beautiful, wild, divine creature that wants out. Uncage that divinity and watch your wild beauty emerge as you and your world transform through raw grace. So one of the most exciting, terrifying, liberating, and to those who live in fear, threatening thresholds you'll go through on the spiritual path is to unplug from mass conditioning, right? What you've been told you should and shouldn't do your whole life. In the same way, you may imagine a cult member having to deprogram their mind as they exit the cult and rejoin normal society. There will be a point on the spiritual path where you realize that normal society is actually trapped in a cult-like mindset of its own. And the freedom-loving divine rebel in you will want out. You can have your freedom, but you'll need courage. You'll go through loss. Admittedly, it's loss of what would ultimately suffocate your soul. But that might include people or places or things to which you have become attached. You may know it's the right thing to do to move on, yet you will need to grieve the loss. You'll spend some time in between worlds where you'll feel not quite in the past and not quite in the new life. You may have some travel companions for your transitional journey, but they won't necessarily feel like family. In fact, you may feel spiritually orphaned, lost, and alone. The home you have left wasn't right for you, but now you're homeless, and that doesn't seem to be right either. Fortunately, if you're brave enough to keep going, you'll find the place where you belong. Put simply, you don't give up until you find it. When a wild animal has been wounded, it keeps on the move until it can find a safe place to rest and recover. Your instincts will guide you to do the same as you heal the wounds inflicted upon your body and mind by fear-based societal conditioning. You will eventually be strong enough to free yourself from the conditioning and belief systems that once hampered your heart and diminished your dreams. In due course, the deprogramming will shift to reprogramming instead of just fighting against what has been drummed into your body and mind through fear. You'll begin to feel free. You will start to embrace new ideas, more loving realities, and put those new beliefs to the test. In time, you'll find not only a way to live that feels authentic to your wild divine nature, but connections with other souls who have gone through their own unplugging process and with whom you will share your great love affair with life. So this card brings you guidance. Do not allow fear-based reality to temper your spirit, tame your heart, or dull your dreams. There are so many people who will tell you no, call you crazy, and say you're living in a dream world. That is what they need to believe because your increasing aliveness is too much for them as yet. How many people do you know that don't like you now that you're more confident and that you're not falling apart and that you're moving ahead? It's like they're all like judging in one level or another because you no longer really need them at all, right? So, there are so many people who will tell you no, blah, blah, blah. That is what they need to believe because your increasing aliveness is too much for them. They don't understand it. They don't know where you're coming from. So they aren't ready for it. And that's the truth of it, you know. What they say and believe is about them, not you or reality. Part of your unplugging process necessarily involves reclaiming the power you've given to any other person to hold an opinion that means more to you than the truths of your own heart? Do you worry what everybody thinks? Is that more important to you than what your own self thinks? If that's the case, if you're worried about what everybody else thinks, you'll never get started on anything on your own, you know, because you'll always fear a judgment. Okay. Also know that part of the conditioning and the lies that exist within mainstream culture is that life within that system is safer and easier. This is completely untrue. When you learn to live wild and true, you'll see that it's so much easier for the universe to assist, uplift, inspire, and support you when you aren't cowering in fear, trying to prevent life from reaching you. If you feel you or your life is out of control, or you feel you want to change but everyone thinks you're crazy, believe in yourself and know that your wild spirit is being given an empowerment from the universal goddess of life to become untamed, to step out of the box, to step out of the cloak of society, to step out of mainstream religion even, you know, to move past that and see truths in, you know, a lot of different things really. And then you end up making your own sort of pathway, your own spirituality. When I used to tell my friends that I was spiritual or whatever, or family, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious, they'd be like, okay, here we go. All right. She's cuckoo. And it's like, why? Because I'm happy? Because I can manifest things? Because I'm healthy? Because I'm 46 and I don't need, you know, something happening to my body right now? I haven't since I was like 25. It was the last time I had anything, you know, like surgery wise or anything like that, you know? Is it because my skin looks younger or whatever? It must be because I'm happier in that way, right? So, you know, they wonder, even when you're doing really well, people will go, well, there must be something weird about her because, you know, she's doing something witchy. There's something not quite right there, you know? You know, whatever they want to imagine, who gives a crap? You know, oh my gosh, it doesn't matter anymore, it seems, that someone's going to be offended, so you're going to have to do it anyway. Okay, you can't be living your life and, well, I better not say this word or that word or this word or that word, or assume this or this or this or this or this, or say this or this. Pretty soon you're like, nervous anxiety is kicked in and you just, I'm just going to retreat from society because I can't say anything because somebody's going to be offended. Newsflash, doesn't matter how awesome you are, doesn't matter if you're a big, fat piece of chocolate, someone doesn't like chocolate. I don't really like chocolate. Doesn't matter how awesome you are, beautiful you are, wonderful you are, sweet you are, kind you are, loving you are, giving you are, somebody won't like it. Someone will make fault with it to pick on your emotions, to make you feel less than good enough. And your job as a spiritual leader, your job as a guide to others, as a guide to humanity, not even having to say anything, is to do it anyway. To be you. Do you. Move forward. Okay? Is to forget the programming. To forget what society wants you to do. Okay, you're going to finish school and you're going to go to school. Okay? Really? What about just starting? No, you're going to go to school. That's what you're going to do because you're going to make a decent living that way and you're going to follow the program. That's what you're going to do. You're not going to step outside of that program that everyone else before you has had to step into. So you're not allowed to do it, right? Because then we are going to make you feel like such an outsider, such a loser, such an idiot, such a moron, and that you're completely off script. So you're the lunatic. We are going to gaslight you. We are going to make you the black sheep. We are going to turn everybody against you because you're simply not doing as you're told. That's what you're being told. That's what the world is saying to us. You need to do this because we're doing it. You don't want to do it? Okay, let's make your life a living hell, because you are going to emotionally feel that. You're going to take it on. You're going to feel anxious. You're going to feel nervous. You're going to feel stressed. And that's exactly where the powers that be, family that be, whatever it is for you, wants you to be. They don't want you to be strong in your beliefs. They don't want you to stand out from the crowd. They don't want you to make any sense at all. They don't want you to look good and feel good and have no health issues. They don't want you to be strong. They don't want you to know anything. They don't want you to accept your divine sovereignty. And that is part of the agitators on the planet's job, to do that to those who are light leaders. If you're listening, if you're growing in your spirituality, sorry, but your job is a light leader, right? So they're going to try to knock you off of that pathway in any way that they can. Friends, school, people that you know in social circles. Soon as I say, if I meet people that I don't know, and they're like, well, what do you do? And it's like, well, I'm an author, I've written some books, and I, teach things, etc. about, spiritual stuff. If I feel like I'm comfortable enough to say so, I will say it. And they're like, oh, okay. Suddenly the conversation will change. Now, a lot of people will just go, oh, really? Oh, wow. I've been looking at this stuff too. Like, you can kind of tell the ones that have got a crystal necklace, or, the ones that are got their hair a little freaky or whatever, they may be more open to reception because they've always done things their own way anyway. But there are a lot of people like, my husband, 7 back surgeries. He goes to the doctor, like the eye doctor, because he has glaucoma that's come because of anyway, it's his story. But he goes and he tells them, I shouldn't even be sitting here. I've had 7 back surgeries. My back's been deteriorating since I was 15. But I've done all this healing and all this work and shamanic work and past life regression therapy and that. Now, we had a couple of people that were just like staring at us. But the doctor's like, really? How did that work? Oh my God, people need to get off the medication. These are doctors, right? You're in a very unique opportunity right now where you can break the mold of humanity. That's what we're doing. We're trying to get away from the slavery, which is the control that has been around for the beginning of, since they got rid of Atlantis and Lemuria, and since they destroyed the native populations that were just living off the earth and doing their thing and watching the changes in the sun and the moon and the tides, etc., and doing everything the right way. And they quickly get rid of these people because it's not it's freedom. So they weren't doing as they're told, basically, or they could not be tamed. They were the untamed. They were not going to listen. They were going to do what they wanted to do, what they've always done, what they've done through generations and generations, and lived a certain way. No greed, no killing for pleasure, not everything with honor. Okay, you look at any tribal history and everything is done. I mean, except for, there are some tribes in Papua New Guinea that were cannibals. Okay, so I don't know what that is, but they're doing their thing, as long as it's not being eaten, right? So there were some tribes, okay. But, most of what we see in the populations have been very honorable, right? And just doing their thing. They didn't want to conform. The American Indians did not want to be taken away from their land and go do school. They could have, like, that's foreign. That was extremely terrifying for them. They wanted to just be able to just be left the hell alone. And don't you feel that way? You just want to be left the hell alone. You don't want to be going to the shop, and you're in the shop and everyone's like, right? While they're dragging themselves around with a cane, or, looking like they're 100 years old when they're like 30, or, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like judge, 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 because you're happy, you're free, you're vibrant, you're glowing. People see another person's glow and they freak out. Some people are drawn to it like, oh yeah, this person's completely, we see it, my husband and I, when we're out shopping, okay, this person's completely cool. You can tell. They got this light energy about them and you're like, okay. And then you can feel the opposite, right? Where you're like, oh God, something's going on there. Or, oh, I have to turn all my senses off. I've got like an etheric blanket on myself to go to the store. And I actually find it very hard to actually physically see in the store when I've shut everything down. Like I can't see because I've just completely wiped everybody out of my way, you know. And this is saying we are the untamed. They can't catch us and do what they want to do with us. Our family, our friends, anybody. We've always been different. You've been different since you were a little kid. You've been picked on, you've been abused, you've been hurt, you've been squashed. You're never picked. You know, like I played netball for so many years and I was never picked for, I'm right up there in the top, but I was never picked for the top or never at the next level or never going to go. No, we can't let her get up there. It's almost like the powers that be or the forces that control or have been controlling the universe sees certain people and they like, this person is going to do something if we don't get a hold of this person. They're going to do something in their life. They're going to encourage others to do something with their lives. We need to squash them. Where can we squash them? Emotionally. They're going to feel it because they're empathic. They're kind. They've come here for a reason to help humanity. So if you're thinking about negative and positive forces, the negative forces know who you are. They don't want you to succeed, and you must resist. You must resist because love is the way forward. If you send love to any of your enemies, if you send love to the darkness on the planet, if you send love to people you just can't stand, but you're sending love anyway, then you win every single time. And it is felt. It is felt by the other person. It really is. They're like, oh my God, I couldn't even get to that person. They're still going. How many people have tried to tear me down off of YouTube or suppress whatever? I've seen it, but I'm still here because there's no real reason why they can get rid of me, right? I'm not doing anything wrong other than enlightening as many people as I can to be strong, you know, to understand your strengths, to follow through with your strength, to practice your healing, to tune into yourself, to do some cards for yourself during the day, objectively, to open yourself up to all that is, to write, to go into your happiness, to be with the person that you want to be with, regardless of what anybody else thinks, because usually people hate it the most when you're actually going to find the right person. Some people will just be like, oh, no, you shouldn't do that, you know? And when you're making a big mistake, nobody says anything. They're all, oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, congratulations, while they're laughing under their breath, right? You have to do things anyway. You know, it's funny because I talk to you guys about my family members, how I really don't talk to any of them. However, when my dad was in the throes of passing away this June, he's just passed away in June, and we had him stay at our house and all that sort of stuff. I asked my dad I pressed record on my iPad. I said, do you want to please give a message to your son, Stephen, in Australia? And I will do everything I can to get that message to Stephen. And my dad was able to speak a lovely message to Stephen. And he said, keep looking up. Keep looking up. I wish I had got to know you better. Keep looking up. It was really lovely. And I found my brother on Facebook. He never answers any messages from me for years, so I just forget about it. I thought, you know what, I'm going to see if he's on Facebook Messenger. And I just messaged him and he answered me. Right? And so I said, oh my God, okay, we need to talk on the phone. I need to tell you what's going on with our father. And I was able to do that. And just randomly, I had a dream about him the other night. And I could see him as a young boy, see memories of where we used to live in Adelaide in South Australia when we were really little. I mean, I could see the outline. I mean, I must have been 3, right? And I could see the whole outline of the house where my dad was sitting, where the side door was to go outside. And I could see my little brother running down the hallway in his little onesie. And he fell and hit his head right in the center of his head in like that, like a big line. Okay. And it split right open here when he was little. And I remember my mum saying, get some nappies, you know, screaming at me because we were putting nappies on his head. And he had this huge scar on his, right in the center of his third eye, really. And he's had it there his whole life. You can't imagine the names I used to call him and say what had gotten cut off from there. Oh my God, I was pretty mean to him when he was little. But I had this dream about him. Next day, he messages me, how you going, sis? I'm like, what? My brother? And then I thought about somebody, you know, this happens to me a lot. I'll think about somebody, sure enough, oh, we haven't heard from such and such. And it's like, sure enough, I'll get a message or something like that. Because we're in tune, we're tapped in, we're turned on. But it's like my brother who, I mean, I talk about, this has been 12 years that I've been online. 12 years ago, telling him, hey, I'm going to start going online and do, oh God, you know, okay, whatever makes you happy. I'd go to Perth in Western Australia in 2014. I'm here, I said to him. I'm here, I'm teaching. Oh, what? What are you teaching? What? Some crap? What I just, it's too, you know, that kind of thing, dismissive. And I'd be like, oh my God, okay. That was in 2014. That was the last time before talking to my dad here in June that my brother had come up in my energy at all. And it is back, right? People suddenly understand what you're doing in their own way. Like suddenly, you know, years later, you know, 20 years later for one of my friends, you know, you told me 20 years ago, this and this and this and this and this. Oh my God, I just thought you were absolutely so stupid back then. Now I can see. Another one that was at the birth of my second son, Josh, went in a completely different direction to me, whatever, but we still checked in every now and then. She's turned around, completely not her thing. I'm so proud of you for just stepping, you know what, you're just doing your thing. That's awesome. So many people don't do their thing, or they're afraid to do their thing, or they just get a normal job, or whatever it is. You know, I'm glad you're doing your thing. And this is what you're being asked to do. Do your thing. Do you, right? Break out of that box of society. Because believe me, you're not going to make anybody happy. You cannot live your life for someone else's pride. Someone to say, I'm so proud of you. It's just, if it happens, fantastic. If someone goes, oh my God, I finally get it, fantastic. But you still got to do stuff anyway, even if they didn't. It's how we break out of the robotic structure that we see around us. You know, by being unique to ourselves and understanding our sovereignty. This is how we heal. Ultimately by acceptance of the self. And of course there are different layers of healing. And maybe on another time I'll go through those different layers of healing to see where you're at with it. But acceptance is key. And this is the integrating of the healing process here with this. I call upon the crystal angel of Amber and goddess Freya, who love me unconditionally. Thank you for the divine healing empowerment of the untamed. May I drop the cages, constraints, and conditions that breed fear and forgetfulness of my true nature. May I open to the untamed, wild divinity in me that allows my life to happen in effortless harmony with the universe. Through my own free will, so be it. And I choose of my own free will through this and any lifetime and through all layers of my entire being to forgive, release myself from fear-based conditioning. This is important. I choose freedom, wild divinity, and unconditional trust in life through divine empowerment and unconditional love, so be it. Okay? May divine love liberate all beings from fear, opening the heart to wild grace and divine compassion. May all beings be happy and free, according to divine grace and in service to the divine feminine wisdom evolving through humanity at this time. So be it. I am wild divinity untamed. Okay? We're moving into this very, very important, it's actually been around for a long time, but it's very, very important now more than ever to really focus on yourself. Let others say what they will. Let others do as they will. Let others take what they want. Let others live the life that they want to live. Let others be free to pursue whatever happiness means to them. Whether it's house building, whether it's going to school, whether it's becoming a teacher, whether it's doing nothing, whatever it is, we have to allow others to be free if we, also want to be free ourselves. Because the divisions, the hatred, the anger, this is all controlled society stuff. It's all controlled governmental stuff. And we have to, although we have to be aware, of course, of what's going on with us and what's going on around us and what's affecting those that we love, we can change it through our mindsets together. Some of the messages that I give you guys is all about something that you'll be able to focus on. Focus on something other than the news, right? Other than who's who or what's going on or whatever. And really use that focus, because the more people that are focusing on the divine peace of this planet, and that people doing what they love to do, and that people are happily buying homes or creating a farm life or creating communities, and people are happy and they're able to see their loved ones, that we're focused on this peace that we want. Rights for everyone, freedom for everyone, the right to choose for everyone. That should be how it is across the board, across the globe. And sadly, it's not in some countries. Like, you can't do stuff. You can't do anything. You can't even have a thought of your own, and someone's right there. And right now, the thought police are listening to my phone, They're probably going to get ads about crystal stores or something. Come up on my iPhone, you know what I mean? It's just got to stop. The only way to stop it, as far as I can see, is through joint effort in our focus. Because the more people that are focusing on this not existing, the quicker we get over this hurdle and start a new way of living. Not everyone's going to be with us, sadly. And then probably the numbers of the world are going to sadly decrease over the next couple of years. And we're going to have to be prepared for that, Suddenly losing people that we love, suddenly finding out information about a lot of people are losing animals right now. Why do you think that is? A lot of the times the animals want to come back as a new companion for you as you're in a new cycle, as you're in a new energy, as you're in a new world. Many will go, sadly. We knew this for a very long time, that there's going to come a point where the world population will, not be able to maintain itself. And, with the added, things that are taking place, a lot of it happening on purpose right now, there's just a reality that some of us may not be here. I want to be able to leave information behind. If I'm going to go out, I want to go out with as much information for the world as I can, and channel it in and talk to you and teach you as much as I can, without letting anything stop me from doing that. Whether it means I have to cut certain people out of my life or, put up stronger boundaries, so be it, if it's for the good of humanity. You know, I can't be bothered with squabbles over races that I keep hearing. What the hell? We're all humans. I just never had that thought. I never had that thought in my life. So this person's a different color than me. I'm like, this is just another person to me. This is my brother. This is my sister. These are my family. This is my life. This is whatever. You know, I don't agree with that at all. I don't. There's no privilege about me either. Believe me. Right? I've been dragged up, not brought up, dragged up through the mud, through the crap, through the feralness of it all. And so I'm telling you these things because I'm focused on a different world, not the same world as what we've been seeing, what we've been living through, right? What we've had. But a way in which we can all stay connected vibrationally. We should be able to telepathically be able to connect with each other. We will do that. You know, when I say to you that I have a dream about my brother and then he connects with me, it's telepathic connection. He was feeling it. I was picking it up. You know, he was wanting to reach out to me. He's lost and hurting. I picked it up. I thought about it and then I just let it go. Next thing you know, I get a message. How you going? Random. A lot of people do that. They will randomly, you know, my friends or whatever. I was just thinking about you, you know, and there it is. You guys get that too. And my husband was saying that we don't get deja vu anymore because we've changed already. The timelines have changed. We've known that for some time too, that was shifting. There's another wave happening right now, which is what I'm talking about, feeling all strange inside and, you know, like some people saying they're coming down with something, whatever. Right? The planets are doing stuff. They always do stuff. They're always doing something. Someone thinks they're getting away with this and boom, the truth is revealed. And then they try again, boom, the truth is revealed. Why? Because Pluto comes up somewhere, or Saturn brings all its problems and pandemics, or, you know, you got Mars with its fury. Oh, you got Neptune with its leaks in the media and leaks in information and leaks over here. And you got Mercury with communication. You got Venus bringing in the love and the health and the support. You know, they're all doing something. And when they come and rock around, you know, this stuff happens every time throughout history. And we're going to go over that too. There's so much I want to, I got to get it all into us. It's almost like my mission is to feed or flood with knowledge as much as I can. Right? And that's what you're all about as well. Leave a legacy. Leave a legacy behind you so everyone understands who you were, what you stood for. Even if they didn't completely, they knew you were trying to do the right thing. You were trying to do a good thing. That's all you can do is a good thing. You know, not hurting anyone, not hurting any animals, you know, flying off the handle every now and then and getting upset is different from being constantly angry. Having a few drinks every now and then is different than being drinking every single day, every single day, every single day, and then wondering why you have things wrong with you, etc. When you're trying to numb your pain, your internal pain, you know, in one way or another. So this message came out just perfectly from what we were talking about. And I really am grateful for each and every one of you for crossing paths with me on this journey. Even if it's just for a minute, but there's something that you take with you that's fantastic. It's all I could ever ask for. But to be honest with you, the real thing is to just push forward with a focus of your own, regardless if you even have one person listening. If you do, that's fantastic. It's to do it because it will free you. It will enable your body freedom. It will enable you to move out of a cycle that's probably plagued your family for centuries, since the beginning of time, whatever. To bring back the Lemurian energy on this planet, the Atlantean energy on this planet, which was all about everyone understanding each other. Before there was even an issue, someone would be like, oh, this person, you know, we're just going to help adjust that energy right now. Done. Oh, stomach ache. Oh, yep, done. Okay. As you're walking past each other, you're just like tuning in with permission, of course. You know, everyone helping each other. Peace, manifestations, working with crystals to unlock this knowledge. to unlock this power right now. Embracing yourself for who you are. And again, there'll be more lessons on how to do this, of course, as we go forward. Not an easy task, right? Nothing worthwhile is ever easy. If it was easy, the whole world would be doing it. We wouldn't be talking like this. So, I hope that everybody understands where I'm coming from, of course. I send love to each and every one of you. I thank you all for being here all the time. Thank you so much. Share this message if you feel you need to. It'd be awesome. And flood this world with light and love. Change the whole paradigm of things. Understand the light's already won anyway. We're already on a winning streak here. Okay, it's just a matter of everybody catching up to that fact. And understand who you are as a soul. It's completely unique from the next person next to you. And you have to do something with it. And sitting there in confusion saying, I don't know what to do, doesn't help you do anything. You have to do what you love, whether it's reading, talking, writing, drawing, creating of some kind. And then while you're doing those activities, while you're engrossed in your activity, all the information starts to come to you. Because you're not distracted by 1,000 things. Distraction is always the, what's the word? It's like the distraction is trying to rule you. And it's always the play of the darkness to distract you, to make you feel like crap, to make you feel useless, hopeless, that there is going to be no end, there is going to be no change, there is not going to stop. They want you to feel that way. I don't know what I want to do, I'm lost. They want you to feel that way. Oh, I'm all on my own, I can't do it. Yes, you can, but that's what they'll make you feel. Listen to these distractions and rebuke them immediately. And you'll be on the pathway to the divine faster than you can imagine. Everything will start falling into place for you. Okay? So, here we go. We're moving forward into this new experience. I will be back soon with more videos. Put in the comments what you would like to learn, what you'd like to be taught, what you would like to be able to master in your life. Put it down below and I'll do my best to help you. Okay? Till the next time. Thanks for being at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Here for Devine Cafe. Don't forget my website, BDevineonline.com. Go ahead and check out what I have to offer there as well. And until the next time, many blessings, lots of love. Bye for now. Bye. I'm going to try to get this right. Okay, stop the recording up here. Bye, everyone.